The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. 1-800-610-7035 worldwide toll-free. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. X-Zone Nation, this hour we're going to be talking about letting go. Transform your life, transform the world. Let me ask you this, X-Zone Nation. What if you could heal your years of trauma, pain, or emotional baggage in an instant? That fast. Well, there's a new film that shares the unique process designed to do just that. Letting go. Transform your life, transform your world. And joining me this hour is Hale Dwoskin, and he is a New York Times bestselling author of the Sedona Method. It was featured in the Letting Go movie. He is the CEO and Director of Training of Sedona Training Associates, an organization that teaches courses based on the emotional releasing techniques that were inspired by his mentor, Lester Levinson. Joining me now is Hale Dwoskin. And Hale, welcome to the X-Zone.
Oh, well, thanks for having me.
Tell me, is it really that possible to let go of all those years of trauma, pain, or emotional baggage like that in an instant?
Yeah, it actually is. I'm not saying you're going to let go of all of it in an instant, but what you can do is in this moment, we all have a natural ability to let go of any uncomfortable or unwanted feeling, no matter how long it's been there. And once you get in touch with this natural ability, then you can actually let go of things in an instant. I've worked with people who in just a few moments, a few minutes literally, have let go of trauma they've carried their whole life. I was working with a 94-year-old woman about a week ago on a teleconference, and she had some trauma that she was holding on to. She had been holding on to since age 6, so 88 years.
My Lord.
And she still was able to gain tremendous relief, and we probably only worked for 10 minutes.
So let me just get this straight, because it sounds almost too good to be true.
Absolutely.
This 94-year-old lady had been collecting all this baggage, for the lack of to encompass the entire word, that she has collected over her 94 years, God bless her. And in 10 minutes, 10 simple minutes over a teleconferencing call, the majority of it was gone?
Well, not all her baggage for 88 years, but she was releasing on a specific incident that happened when she was 6 years old.
My heavens.
And it was an extremely traumatic incident that even at 94, she was still upset about. So what happened is we worked specifically on that, and also when you have any kind of trauma, it tends to color how you deal with life. So she had been dealing with life those 88 years based on all the decisions and beliefs and compensations she developed around what had happened. And in 10 minutes, she started to feel a lot lighter, a lot happier, and those that inner tension or turmoil she'd been carrying so long really just started dissolving.
Unbelievable. It's going to be a great hour, X-Zone Nation. We're talking about letting go. Transform your life, transform the world. Our guest is Hale Dwoskin. Website, www.lettinggo.tv. That's LETTINGGO.tv. And Hale and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Just imagine that. God bless her. For 88 years, she was carrying the effects of something that happened to her when she was 6 years old. And after Hale and talked to her on a teleconference call, after 10 minutes, she was feeling better, relieved of that specific event. Sound too good to be true? You know what? I've learned over the years doing the show, the most simplest and most wonderful things in life are really easy, but we as humans love to complicate things. I'll be back. Don't go away.
Help me share my load.
Well, I remember it all very well. Looking back, it was the summer I turned 18. We lived in a one-room run-down shack on the outskirts of New Orleans. We didn't have money for food or rent, to say the least. We were hard-pressed. Then Mama spent every last penny we had to buy me a dancing dress. Well, Mama washed and combed and curled my hair, and she painted my eyes and lips. Then I stepped into a satin dancing dress that had a split from the side, clean up to my hip. It was red velvet trimming and it fit me good. Standing back from the looking glass, there stood a woman where a half-grown kid had stood. She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down.
Explanation, we're talking about letting go this hour. Transform your life, transform the world. Our guest is Hale Dwoskin. And Hale, maybe I should start off by asking you, what exactly is the Sedona Method?
Oh, sure. It is just a very simple, very powerful technique that shows you how to tap your natural ability to let go of any uncomfortable or unwanted feeling in the moment. That's why that 94-year-old woman could let go of something she'd been carrying so long. It's because it is natural. If you've ever been around young children, you'll notice that they let go of things spontaneously and naturally.
Yep.
Well, we as adults have simply lost touch with that natural ability, so we forgot we can still do that. And when you become in touch with it as an adult, it's then on call. And you can also use it in specific circumstances to really delve into issues from the past that you've been holding on to for a long time. So that's what it is in a nutshell. It's based basically on two simple things, that feelings are just feelings. They're not facts, and they're not you, and you can let them go. And that right here, right now, beyond all the thoughts and feelings, is this inner sense of beingness or knowingness or perfection that is always here, always now. And you can live that by simply uncovering it through letting go.
Why is it then, if this is a natural ability that we all have we lost the knowledge that we had as a child that, hey, we can just release this, we can just shake this off and carry on with life, and it's gone, it's over with? Why do we hold on to this?
Oh, that's actually a good question. I'll actually answer it first by a joke, because I think you'll appreciate that. For the first couple of years of life, everyone is trying to get us to walk and talk. And then for the next 18 years or so, everyone's trying to get us to sit down and shut up. And while people, our parents, our teachers, our relatives, society is telling us to conform, telling us to constrict our natural aliveness, after a while we start to buy into that. And there's a radical transformation that happens to most people at about age 2 or 2.5. In developmental terms, or parents call it the terrible twos. Because the first couple of years of life, we don't really feel separate from our environment. We're just in this state of unity or oneness or whatever you want to call it. But it's unconscious. We don't really realize that's what's happening. It's just natural. And through a process of indoctrination, literally, our parents convince us that we are a separate person. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a normal part of the developmental process. But as soon as we buy into that, as soon as we buy into that we are a separate person, then instead of letting go, we tend to try to accumulate. We try to accumulate things, and we try to accumulate experiences, and unfortunately, much of what we accumulate is not constructive. It's all our past failures, or our past hurts, or our disappointments, or our letdowns. We seem to cling to those more than anything else. And the more we do that, the harder it is to let go of anything, because we're so busy trying to save it all up. So the beauty is, though, that once you start letting go, and by the way, what I'd love to do, since we have plenty of time, I'd love to take people through a process or two that they can start using right away.
Please, go right ahead, sir.
But once you start to rediscover this truth of who you are, and you start to tap this natural ability to let go, it gets easier and easier and easier to do.
Is the reason why we seem to, or that we do hold on to negative experiences in our lives, is that they have a greater impact on us psychologically than the positive experiences do?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Yes, we definitely cling more. Mm-hmm. Again, if someone punched you in your arm, you tend to scrunch up, or if you know what I mean. Especially if someone hits you in the stomach, you close down your whole body. You're protecting yourself. And so when something's painful or uncomfortable, we tend to close down around us and try to protect ourselves. Mm-hmm. And what happens is this becomes habitual. And so we're doing it even when there's no threat. So what happens is, as you start to relax and let go, you stop doing that except when it's appropriate. Obviously, if someone's trying to hit you, you have to defend yourself. But we act as though the world is at war with us most of the time because of this habit. And so as you start to let go, you start to break that habit. And then you respond appropriately to what's actually here in life.
All right. You were going to give us a couple of examples that we.
Oh, sure. Well, first, let me also. I just want to make sure everyone's real clear what I mean by letting go. So let me show by an example.
Okay.
Everyone listening to this, if you're in a place where you can pick up a pen or a pencil or an object, if you're in a car listening, please just imagine this. But for the sake of this analogy, this pen or pencil or object in your hand represents your unwanted emotions, your anger, your fear, your frustration, and all those limiting beliefs you have about yourself. Like, I'm afraid that I can't do this, and I've never done it before, or I don't know how, or I'm a failure, or I'm not good enough, all those wonderful things we tell ourselves. And your hand represents your gut or your awareness. Now take this object and grip it really tightly with your hand.
Okay.
Now, if you did this long enough, it would start to feel really uncomfortable and then really familiar, because this is what we're doing all the time. So now, open your hand and just drop the object.
All right.
That's how easy it can be to let go of any emotion, and that's what we mean by letting go. But now pick it up again for a second and just roll the object around in your hand. Mm-hmm. Now, is this object attached to your hand?
Of course not.
Right. But if you think about our relationship to our emotions, we don't usually say, I feel sad. We say, I'm sad. We don't just say, I feel angry. We say, I'm angry. Mm-hmm. Even when something doesn't go our way, we don't say, we don't usually say that wasn't a success. We usually say, I'm a failure. And we believe it. But every belief that we have, every feeling that we have is attached to us, as these object is attached to your hand. So there's a series of simple questions that we can start using right now to let go of some of this excess baggage. And the first question is, could you just welcome what you're feeling? Most of us are at war with our emotions. We're trying to suppress them. We're trying to keep them away. Occasionally we might express them, but we're not really just being with them. And so the first thing to do is just allow the feeling to be there. And then the next question is, could you let it go? And if you were able to drop the object, like you did a moment ago, then you can let go of any unwanted emotion or belief. The next question is when. And the next question is, would you let it go? Would you just means, are you willing to? And if you're ever not sure, you can ask yourself, would I rather hold on to this pain or this suffering or this problem? Would I rather be free of it and have my goals? And if you'd rather be free and have your goals, then you'll probably be willing. And then the last question is when. And when is simply an invitation to do it now, just like you dropped the pen. So what I can do right now is just take us through the process.
All righty. We've got about 3 minutes before I have to go for the news.
So that's perfect. Because
Okay.
the beauty of this, it doesn't take very long.
All right.
So we'll just go through it a couple of times. So in this moment, and you don't have to answer. I don't want to put you on the spot. This is something I'm going to do with you and all your listeners at the same time.
All right.
So in this moment, allow yourself to think of something in your life that's been bothering you. Something with your husband, your wife, your son, your daughter, your employee, your employer, and just any issue that you've been struggling with. Be it
Okay.
that person or anything else, it doesn't matter. And in this moment, could you just simply welcome whatever you're feeling? Let it be there.
All righty.
And then as best you can, just for now, could you let that feeling go? Just could you?
Sure.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
Now.
Okay. Did you notice anything when you answered the questions?
I felt a little bit of a relief.
Right. And again, those questions are ridiculously simple.
But what it does is it also puts you back in control.
Exactly.
The problem or the feeling is no longer in control because you've addressed it, taking back the control and saying, hey, I'm in charge. This is my feeling. I don't have to put up with it. Goodbye. Now.
Right. Exactly. And the reason these simple questions work is because they are simple and because they're tapping in a natural ability that we all have. Again, children do the same thing without having to ask questions. But we adults, we're slow.
Well, you know what? I've got a theory, and my theory is that we should let the United Nations be run by kids of every country.
That's a great theory.
Get rid of the adults, because kids, they fight for a second or two. They want the same toy. Somebody screams. Somebody might get hit, but 30 seconds later, they're the best of friends.
Exactly. And also, us parents should realize that often our children come here to teach, not to be taught. And that would be I'd love to see the UN, at least for a day, run by children.
Maybe that's something you and I could work on.
Okay.
Hale, please stand by. Great talking to you. You and I have to take our news break with some commercials from our fine sponsors. Please stand by. Exonation, letting go. It is that simple. Transform your life. Transform the world. Letting Go is the name. And for more information, visit Hale's website at www.lettinggo.tv. That's LETTINGGO.tv. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Once again, Letting Go. Transform your life. Transform the world. It's now available on DVD and VOD, and the website is www.lettinggo.tv. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. I'm not letting go of you, X Zone Nation. We'll be back on the other side of the news.
Watched him comb and curl my hair, and she painted my eyes and lips. Then I stepped into a satin dancing dress that had a split from the side, clean up to my hip. It was red velvet trimming, and it fit me good. Standing back from the looking glass, there stood.
You're listening to the X Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035. Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv at hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com.
Try to understand, try to understand, try to understand that my magic.
The light shines down the valley. The wind blows up the alley. Oh, and I wish I was lying in the arms of Mary. She took the pains of boyhood and turned them into feel good. Oh, and I wish I was lying in the arms of Mary. Mary was the girl that taught me all I had to know. She put me right on the first mistake. Summer wasn't gone and I learned all she had to show. She really gave all a boy could take, yeah. So now when I get lonely.
And welcome back, everyone. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone, and you're listening to us on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, Star Cable, X Zone TV, and of course our growing family of independent and network broadcast affiliates right across Canada, the United States, Central America, the Caribbean, South America, the Pacific Rim, Asia, Africa, and Europe. 1-800-610-7035, worldwide toll-free. My email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv at hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. The song I just played, In the Arms of Mary, by a Canadian group called Chilliwack, is dedicated to one of our listeners. Her name is Kathy McCaslin. And Kathy sent me this email. She said, "Hi, Mr. McConnell. I get your show on podcast and find it one of the best. You bring the best of the best onto your show. I wish I could get you here in Arkansas. I'm trying to get the name of the artist singing Lying in the Arms of Mary on the November 20th show. I hope you can give me his name. Thanks, Kathy." Well, Kathy, as I said in the email that I sent you along with the lyrics and the music, the name of the song, Lying in the Arms of Mary, is by a Canadian group called Chilliwack. So there you go. Thank you very much. And X-Zone Nation, if anyone out there has a question they'd like to ask me, send an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. This hour, we're talking about letting go. Transform your life, transform your world. Our guest is Hale Dwoskin. And for more information on this simple yet effective and amazing process, www.lettinggo.tv. That's LETTINGGO.tv. Tell me, how did you come across this method?
Well, actually, that's kind of a fun story. Back in 1976, I met a man named Lester Levinson, who ended up being my mentor for 18 years, and he told me a pretty amazing story. He back in 1952, at age 42, the doctors gave him the death sentence. They thought after he had a second coronary, they didn't think he'd live more than a few weeks. He was in that bad a shape. So they basically sent him home to die. And he moped around his apartment for a few days and even contemplated suicide because he wanted to take control. And instead, he did sort of, I'm still alive. There may be a way out. Let me see if I can find one. And at the very least, I want some answers, how I got myself into this mess. And he started a process of self-inquiry, asking himself questions like, who am I, and what's this world, and what's my relationship to it, and what is happiness, and other key questions that he'd been wondering about his whole life. And what happened because of the extremity of the situation, I mean, basically, he had his back against the wall, and he thought he was about to lose everything. He decided he was able to just really cut through all the BS that we usually buy from our conscious mind, and he even went through the subconscious to a part that we all have that's kind of all-knowing. And he started getting these amazing insights, and one of the first things he discovered is that we all have this natural ability to let go of any uncomfortable or unwanted feeling or belief or anything that's holding us back. And he also discovered that we really have no limits whatsoever except the ones we impose on ourselves. And he realized that we're really good at putting limits on ourselves, but he also realized that we have the ability to discharge them or let them go. And that got him really excited. So again, he still didn't know if he was going to make it, but at least he was starting to feel better. And he started to let go of his anger, his fear, his frustration, he had issues with love, issues with health, all sorts of things. And as he let go, he started feeling better and better and better. And then at the end of the 3-month period, something just clicked inside, and his sense of separation, his sense of being isolated from the universe just disappeared. And it was replaced by a sense of profound peace that he lived in another 42 years after the doctors said he was about to die, because his body also healed. And I met him in 1976, and I was just blown away by who he was. I mean, he was really a living embodiment of someone who had gone through such a profound experience. And he was also very different than anyone I'd ever met before. You could tell that he knew something that not everyone else did. And you could tell that he was really living it, and that really got my attention. So I took the course. The course was taught by other people. He didn't actually teach it. And he took the course. I took the course, actually, and before the course was even over, I realized that this is what I was going to be dedicating my life to, because it had such a profound effect on me, and I immediately wanted to do what I could to share it with the world. And that was back in 1976. And it's been either my vocation or avocation for part-time since then, and it's been full-time since the late 80s.
It seems that what you have been able to accomplish through your mentor and what he was able to learn and pass on to you that you are teaching is something like finding nirvana. It seems like it's a totally conscious, awake form of meditation.
Yes, that's a very accurate description. That people who meditate have said that when they do this process, it feels, in just a few minutes, they feel like they've been meditating for a half an hour or an hour. And they find when they do meditate, and they also have been doing this process, the meditations go much deeper, much more quickly. Because what this does is it helps you dissolve all the feelings and tendencies that cause you to not be at peace. And when you dissolve those in life, then you find yourself feeling peaceful and happy and more alive, more at ease throughout your day, even when things are challenging. I mean, I've experienced being at peace in Times Square, Manhattan, in the late 70s before they cleaned it up. That really got my attention, by the way. I experienced peace in the middle of an earthquake in L.A. because I'm not used to earthquakes. I was just thrown out of bed, literally, from the earth shaking. And I let go, and I started to feel relaxed and peaceful, and also clear of mind to know to go stand in the door jamb, just in case this was going to be a big one and the ceiling was going to come down. I've experienced feeling calm even when my car was careening out of control, because I was on a dirt road, and I hit the brakes, and the car started moving sideways. But instead of panicking, I just let go, and I knew I had the clarity of mind to take my foot off the brake and just steer into the skid and gain control of the car again. And so, and I'm not unique. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people all over the world that are discovering the same thing, that they can simply let go. And that's why we created the Letting Go film. we've been helping people with this process for 35 years, and hundreds of thousands of people are using it from every walk of life from all over the planet. But we wanted to create something that in just an hour and 8 minutes, people could really start to get it in a way that they could keep using it on their own. And that's what we did.
Let me ask you a question. You teach people how to let go. You showed us a very simple example before the news break at the bottom of the hour that during the commercial break I told you, hey, it really does work.
Yes.
But what happens, sir, if you're confronted on a daily basis? Let's say John Doe goes to work. He's in a negative work environment. He goes home or sitting at his desk. He uses the letting go technique. But then a few minutes later, he's confronted by the same source that gives him the negativity that he keeps on using the let go technique for. Doesn't the technique also have to be used as part of a process of alleviating the problem in general?
Of course. It's not a substitute for action.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you mentioned that. What happens as you let go is you can find yourself in the exact same situation. Like, for instance, most of us are not fortunate enough that we don't need to work. We have to.
Mm-hmm.
And not every work environment is fun or even healthy.
Yeah.
But sometimes we just don't have a choice. But we do have a choice about how we react. And what happens is when you start to let go, you feel more alive, more at ease, right in the same situation, and then you start handling it differently. For instance, if it's a coworker, you stand up for your rights. Now, if it's your boss, you might not tell them off, but you might finally get the courage enough to look for another job. So what happens is we don't realize that often our feelings paralyze us.
Yeah.
They cause us to stay in situations long after they serve us.
Well, that can be seen in domestic abuse cases.
Yes, or just even in failed relationships. A lot of times relationships fail before they end.
Yeah.
But we stay in it because we don't know what to do. We feel stuck. We feel like we can't say no. No, we can't really move on with our lives. We do this, and even simple things like investing. People I love this expression, that in the stock market, bulls make money and bears make money, but the pigs get slaughtered. And the reason for that is we panic when things are going the wrong way and we don't just sell. Or when the trade is going in our direction, we go into this avarice lust where we have to squeeze every dollar out of the transaction, and then we lose. But if you let go, I have friends that are trading regularly and making lots of money, not because they're brilliant, but because they don't get caught in the usual emotional traps that traders do.
Interesting. Letting go is a very simple technique, as you and I have been discussing over the last nearly an hour now. As someone who sees the end result on a continuous basis, have you seen people cured of illnesses that have kept them down after using the letting go technique?
Well, I have to be careful here. I can't say anyone's been cured because, first off, I'm not a doctor.
All right, let me rephrase the question.
Sure.
Have you seen differences in the mental or health status of people who have taken this course and used the letting go technique?
Absolutely. And again, we don't diagnose, treat, or cure, or even advise about physical conditions. But people anecdotally report back to us amazing results in many different areas. One is, all over the world, there's an epidemic of people using drugs to deal with depression, to deal with anxiety. And we've had people who were on antidepressive or anti-anxiety drugs with the cooperation of their physicians gradually reduce them or eliminate them. In fact, there was a woman who took the course a few years ago, and she didn't even take a live seminar. She just listened to our audio program. And
in just 6 weeks, she sent us a report of what was happening to her. So she had been depressed since she was a teenager, and now she was I believe she was in her 40s or early 50s. And the depression was leaving, and her doctor was already reducing her medications. 2 is she'd been estranged from her teenage son, and they were hardly talking even at meals. If they had, even sometimes they had to still eat together, but it was very uncomfortable. And she healed the relationship. They were talking again. And she had been addicted to overeating, especially ice cream, and the addiction fell away, and she went down 2 dress sizes, and all this happened in just 6 weeks.
Well, that's amazing.
And we've had people literally with allergies and all sorts of ulcers, all sorts of different physical problems, say that they started to have tremendous relief from the symptoms. And again, we didn't cure anything, but even medical science now agrees.
I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, that's okay. Just quickly, medical science now agrees that most physical illness has some emotional component, and we address the emotional component.
All right, stand by, sir. You and I have to take our final break. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. And letting go. It's that simple, X Zone Nation. Letting go. Transform your life. Transform the world. www.lettinggo.tv. I'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away. Exonation, my guest this hour, Hale Dwoskin. He is the gentleman behind a fascinating video that I would highly recommend anybody watching. It's entitled Letting Go, Transform Your Life, Transform the World. His website is www.lettinggo.tv. First of all, Hale, thanks very much for joining us. It's been a great hour. Thank
you.
It's my pleasure, sir. One question that did come to mind is, can this method be taught to children so that throughout their life they will have the ability to keep letting go?
Oh, absolutely. There are 2 ways we as parents can help our children. The first is to be letting go ourselves. Often we say, "Don't do as I say, not as I do," and children don't really even know how to do that. They mimic us.
Yeah.
And so if we're learning how to deal with our own emotions more effectively, if we're letting go, our children will do this naturally and it will stay with them. But the other thing we can do once we learn processes like this process, trying to impose it on our children doesn't work, but if we make it into a game, that can work really well. We had a child psychologist in the UK actually made a game up with a student who he was consulting with, who was just doing miserably, especially in one particular class. And so he said to the student, "Here, I have this little trick for you. Don't tell anyone about it. It's our secret. And when someone's doing something you don't like, just don't tell anyone, but let go of wanting them to be different than the way they are. Let go of wanting to change them, and let me know what happens." So he went back, and about 3 weeks later, he saw the kid, and even in the 3 weeks, his grades started going up dramatically. And he asked the child, well, what happened? And he said, well, it's amazing. I did that thing, and I started feeling a lot better. And you know what? All my teachers changed. Now, obviously, the teachers didn't change.
Yeah.
Just his reaction to them changed. And I think he was 7 or 8. He wasn't that old. But again, the psychologist made it a game as opposed to a should or shouldn't.
Hale, it's come to the end of the hour. I want to thank you once again for joining us. Let our listeners know how they can get more information about letting go, transform your life, transform the world.
Sure. If you want to view the film or purchase the film or also take advantage of our free community, you can go to lettinggo.tv. That's LETTINGGO.tv. And there's lots of information there, and there's lots of free stuff, and I hope you should come check it out.
Hale, I want to thank you once again, and take care of yourself. I look forward to speaking to you in the future.
I would really enjoy that.
Take care, sir. Exonation, Hale Dwoskin has been my guest this hour. We've been talking about letting go, transform your life, transform the world. Once again, www.lettinggo.tv. I'll be back on the other side of the news at 6.5 minutes past the hour as the X-Zone continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away now.
But I've never been to me.